This is Sparta!
Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are going to be talking about Update 4.1, the Swedish Invasion. Now, what are the biggest things about the Swedish Invasion? First of all, the update's going to be massive. It's 4.7 gigabytes. It's going to take a while. For those of us with crappy downloads, it's going to be a while. That being said, there's a lot coming out in this. This is going to be probably the most significant update in recent World of Tanks history. You've got the Swedish tanks coming, which is going to be awesome. And you've also got some new German heavy tanks coming, some maps coming, some coming back. Like, there's just going to be a lot of stuff. And that's what we're going to go over in this one. So, without taking too much of your time, let's look at some of the new features. Here's some of the new features. We've got server replays, guys. Seriously, for those of you who don't have capture cards and stuff, this is what you can use to, other than your Xbox, to save your games. So apparently you're going to be able to view your last 5 battles. So, you know how if you play a few games, those few games that you played are going to be on the server until you log out. Once you log out, those are gone. Just like your battle reports and stuff. You log out, you lose them. So if you want to keep something, make sure you do it before you log out. Now, Siege Mode. Siege Mode is something that I'm interested in because I've seen it on PC for a little while and it's just something different. And I really want to check that out. As somebody who likes to play tank destroyers, I think it'll be pretty awesome. Plus, the Swedish tanks have some really, really fast reverse speeds and stuff. So it's going to be, there's a lot coming in this one. It's going to be fun. But it is going to be, it's unique hydro-pneumatic suspension where they can raise and lower the front of their hulls. Because the guns are fixed to the hull, they have very little gun traverse and rely on their hull to change the gun direction and elevation. This limits them to 2 firing modes, drive and siege. So in drive mode, you're going to be faster, more maneuverable. In siege mode, you're going to be less fast, less maneuverable, but have better gun handling. And in Siege, the camo net and binos remain active during a hull movement. That's huge. Alright, so imagine a tank destroyer in the back of a map, and he's in Siege mode, and he has his camo net up in a bush. He's able to shoot you and turn his gun and his entire chassis without ever breaking the camo net and binos. That's going to be a huge thing, I think. So keep that in mind. That's going to be a big point to remember. Persistent platoons, that's not a real big deal for most of us. But apparently if you're in it has to be a 2-person platoon, they can move between different game modes without disbanding. New vehicles. We're going to have new Swedish premium vehicles. The Swedish M42. That's going to be a Tier 6 medium tank, and the Stark S1 Swedish Tier 8 tank destroyer. That's going to be one, and it's going to be the siege mode. And hopefully Wargaming will let me borrow one, and I will be able to showcase that for you guys and let you know in an honest review what I think of it. Now, new German heavy tanks. New German heavy tanks. We're going to have the VK100. We're going to have the Mauschen and the Panzerkampfwagen 7. Now, I'm not 100% which order these are in, but I think the VK100 would be the Tier 8, Mauschen will be the Tier 9, and the Panzerkampfwagen 7 is the Tier 10. And that's what I'm going to be waiting for. A lot of you guys have asked what my next Tier 10 is going to be. I would like to get the either the Maus or the Panzerkampfwagen 7. So that's something I want to check out because I hear good things about that Panzer. So, maps. We're getting 2 new maps here. We're getting Pilsen, which is featuring interior factory buildings, a maze of construction equipment, and overhanging pipelines. We're also going to get a new version of Redshire, apparently, which is in 1944. It's an alternate history version of Redshire with a castle, which will be interesting. So we've got that to look forward to. Now, there's some improvements being made. Spotting improvements. Spotted vehicles appear more quickly on screen. That's a good thing. Czechoslovakia nation voice option added, so they're adding new voices. Swedish nation voice added. Awesome, we can have PewDiePie over there commenting on our tanks, making fun of us. We've got tank shot decals improved. We've got map adjustments. So apparently they're going to... maps and rotation become available at Battle Tier 4. Excludes extreme weather variants in province. Okay, so apparently they've gotten rid of the Tier 8 cap on some maps. So it's literally after Tier 4, all of the maps become available to everybody. So that's why we've been seeing a lot of new, maps, a lot of the smaller maps. Bunch of mini-map improvements. Buildings are now solid black. Destructible buildings are solid black with white outlines. Adjusted friendly scout bots and war stories to be faster. Reduced amount of enemy artillery for low tiers in Queen's Gambit. Another thing. Northwest standard and team destruction spawns adjusted to make it a little bit more balanced. Northwest encounter base adjusted for balance. Northwest adjusted object placements. So apparently Northwest is getting a huge change here again. Insk is going to have some buildings moved around, scaled to allow larger tanks a clearer path. So that's a good thing. So because we're going to be playing on Insk a lot in Tier 10s, they're going to give it a little bit more room for us to move around in Tier 10s. Ruinberg War adjusted some prop placements, updated the free XP and XP icons because that's an amazing... I don't know why. Made pickups larger for visibility. Okay, again, that's not going to help us in regular battles. Improved explosion effects. Now that's going to be pretty cool to see. More bots, or improved bot response to attack. So basically you'll be able to command your bots a little better with the radial commands in war stories. So that'll be cool. Improved bot movement when following a player. Platoon members will now spawn closer together. So that's always good. I wonder if the platoon members spawning closer together is going to be a thing for both war stories and regular mode. If it's regular mode, that'll be amazing because so many times you get separated right off the bat. Now, there's a lot of vehicle updates. I'm not going to cover them all. There's just a ridiculous amount. So I'm going to cover some of the biggest ones. The terrain and resistance on the T-54 lightweight is getting a... I don't know if that's a better thing or a worse thing, to be honest. I don't know what terrain resistances look like, so I'm just going to leave that stuff alone. Rotation speed for the T-10's going up for the chassis. The IS-7 is getting more health and better turret health. It is also getting a quicker aim time. So the IS-7 getting a massive buff here. Over 200 hit point, almost, yeah, 200 and... Yeah, exactly, 200 hit points more. KV-2, updated HD collision model. A bunch of updated collision models. So we'll just leave all those alone. Tiger 131 is updated gun armor. All these Panzer V-4 updated collision, and oh, the Panzer V-4 gets a buff. We actually get a increase in gun depression on the Panzer V-4 from -4 degrees to -8 degrees, so that's going to be a good thing. The Mouse is getting a buff. It's going to get a 128 quick 44 gun that is allowed to shoot a .36 instead of a .38. It has a pretty significant aim time improvement from 2.9 to 2.1. So a big buff for the Mouse as far as the gun goes. And shot dispersion during rotation is going to get a slight but barely noticeable. It's also getting increased gun armor. That's just what you need on the most armored tank in the game, right? Alright, so we go a little bit further down. The VK4502B is getting a slight hull armor buff in the sides, so it goes from 100 to 120 millimeters, and it gets a slight buff in the turret armor from the front, so that's good. Trying to find some other good ones for us. Ah, yes! The Arties are getting buffs in horsepower and nerfs in load time, or at least the M55 gets a nerf in load time. So the M55, with all the perks and all the good stuff, reloads in 25 seconds right now. 25.4-ish. Well, after this update, it's going to take 31 seconds to reload a shot. And they're not going to do anything with the M55's like dispersion either. So you're literally getting a nerf, and that's it. So you're not getting any accuracy buffs, nothing. So you're still going to hit, you know, 34% of your shots, and you're going to be able to shoot half as much just about. I mean, it doesn't seem like 6 seconds is a lot, but when you're shooting, it's an eternity. That being said, the T92 is going to get an engine horsepower upgrade. It almost doubles. It goes from 500 to 860, so maybe the T92 might be getting some new looks from Spartan Elite over here. That being said, the M48 Patton, that is getting a massive turret update. You're going to get... Where'd it go? It was 170 millimeters. Yeah, 177.8 millimeters in the front of the turret, and now it's going to be 254 millimeters thick. That is amazing. It's about time we'll be able to use the Patton like it's supposed to be used, where you stick your head up over the top of the hill and you shoot people and they just bounce off your turret. That's the way it should happen. Now, it's still going to have the giant cupola. I don't think they're going to do anything with armor on it, so you're still having a weakness. It's just a lot smaller. They don't just have to auto-lock your turret and go straight through. So some big, major buffs and nerfs for tanks. The E5's cupola is finally getting checked, so that'll be a good thing. No more sitting there have to fire heat at it. But yeah, the M55 is getting a reload time nerf. Both the 155 gun for the M53 and the 203 8-inch howitzer is getting a nerf. They're going up. The 155 will now take 25.7 seconds, so you're adding roughly 3.5 seconds to that, so it'll take about 20 seconds with all the perks. And then the 8-inch howitzer is going to take right around 31 seconds to load. Then there's a bunch of bug fixes. I'm not going to go through all that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first look ahead of what is coming in the update 4.1. There's a lot showing up and a lot of bad things as far as artillery goes. They can drive faster, which is going to come in handy because they're not going to be able to hit anything half the time. But anyway, what do we end up with in this last battle? 4,500 damage, 1,100 assisted, 2 kills, not bad, second on the leaderboard. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.